which is what ideally we need as a national team to be able to settle down against the Portuguese, because the Portuguese, they have some of the finest players taking place or participating in this World Cup. You're released then. Please, you can go.
Thank you. But then I'm just hoping that the president's visit will motivate them.
Because
the budget reading is today.
And
the
so we're
match is
looking
also
forward
today.
to
So
the
imagine if we lose. It's going to be a double.
Trust me, if we lose, but everybody will blame the president for being there.
No, exactly. But my question is, did he really have to be there physically to really?
So we're told that he's going to have a meeting with them before they play. And sometimes you need that. I mean, I won't fault him too much because
I'm just
happy if I'm representing the country and the president comes to speak to
Bella,
me.
which is perfect. But I'm asking only because of the times we are in and how to save every single city at this point. Because mind you, he's not the only one on that flight.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
You know that the other people, I thought they said only the president. The release says only the president.
The release says the president, but the president needs his security. He needs.
Yesterday, the video that was circulating, did you see only the president? You didn't see his entourage? Anyway, Godwin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Didn't you see his entourage?
Charlie,
how many were there?
This barrage of criticism against my person is unwarranted.
Was it a commercial flight?
It was a commercial flight, yes. It was a commercial flight. It wasn't a private jet or a chartered one.
I don't think it's a bad idea at all. We've had presidents each time we are participating in the World Cup.
We agree.
Go and visit the Black Stars. Go and give them some morale boosting messages. And I think that it's just opportune. I'm sure some of the players haven't seen the president before.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
it would also be a good time for us to use the opportunity to galvanize everybody. I remember India in 1983. They went to the Cricket World Cup in England. Nobody thought India would ever do well, because by the time 1983 came, the only team that they had ever beaten so well was the team that represented the West Indies. The team that represented the East Africans, so to speak. So that's Zimbabwe and some of those Ceylon countries. So the ultimate effort to make sure that everybody is brought on board, I think, is ideal. And we have to know that if you look at history and the way communication has been done, sport is one of the propaganda tools that is used. Joseph Goebbels used it during the Second World War, prior to the Second World War. And by 1936, when Germany hosted the Olympics, he had used the Olympics that were hosted in Germany as one of the big tools to tell the world that, well, Germany was all-encompassing and then was a unifying state. But we all know what happened after 1936. So I think the president has done well. The question then will arise, as all of you are asking, is it a prudent time to do that?
That's my question.
How many people accompanied him?
Even if it's him alone and he has to use a... I mean, you know, Labour is agitating for wages, so I think it's the posture. But I think the intent and the objective is
in this day and age of technology also, we could have considered other alternatives.
But it's not the same, right?
I know
having your president speak to you on Zoom.
You would want him to be there.
To have the president see me in person and encourage me.
It's a good call.
To an extent, yes, of course. It's not prudent at this time when we are really struggling economically. That's why I was asking how many people went with him, because then if it's just him and maybe one or two people, we don't have the money, yes. But that would have made more sense than having maybe a 10-member team or 15 or whatever. So we have to get those details and we'll be sure how to position.
So I think that it's between Wache and then Gary and Beans. You know, you have to.
In terms of what?
In terms of how luxury or
how luxurious it is.
Yeah. So you have to make a choice. Do you want Wache or Gobe, which is cheaper? So you have to decide. If the
is poisonous to an extent, the plantain. Have you read that?
Be careful.
No.
I've read it too, but be careful.
I've read it.
Who said that?
We've been eating it for ages. We haven't done.
So apparently, when plantain ripens and you fry it, it sort of changes whatever is inside and it becomes poisonous. And oil as well. Yesterday, when the dietitian was here, before he got on air, I asked him about if it was really true. And he was trying to explain that when oil heats to a certain temperature, it changes the components or whatever is in there and it becomes a bit poisonous. So especially for people who reuse their oil, especially when oil goes rancid and you reuse it, because a lot of homes do that. A lot of the people who sell on the streets, they can't pour their oil
They do it until it turns black.
So if you reuse your oil, it is actually even more poisonous. So we have to be careful about what we consume at every point. So just a word of caution out there for people who reuse their oil all the time, especially when it's black.
I see.
Yeah, be cautious.
Thank you for the advice. God bless
Let's
you.
do go there any day.
Yeah.
And watch it any
No,
day.
me, what? Yeah, I mean both any day though.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
So today, do you people think this budget will be read by the minister?
Oh, I think it has to be read. It has to be read so that we know our way around the next year or the last quarter of the year. We're already are towards the end of the year, so we all need to have a certain insight. What hasn't helped the conversation prior to the reading of this budget is whether the man going to read the budget is the one who should be leading the economy of our country and steering it into a new direction. So, but the president has given a certain rebate, and so we know that he's supposed to be there after the budget reading. And hopefully, if we're able to complete the IMF negotiations, which many industry people are saying could be the first quarter of the year, we'll see how it goes. But we all are reading and know that the prices haven't been good. You just have to go onto the streets of Accra, head towards Makola. There's no traffic. And we're talking about, today's date is what?
24th?
Yeah. It's just exactly a month and 2 or 3 days to December 25. Oh, okay, just exactly a month to Christmas. And there's no traffic in Accra. So it tells you people's pockets, the difficulties they are facing. Because after January comes, or after December comes school for children, comes school fees for even the adults, because now people are going to evening school or sandwich schools, etc. And then other responsibilities, because the money you give your parents or your brothers or your friends, they will spend it over the Christmas and they're back on you.
Right.
And already before Christmas, they're already back on all of you.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so
I'm trying to understand the majority MPs and their decision to refocus and recline, which was what they stated in the statement that was put out. This back and forth. And yesterday, I did mention that we should be cautious about our expectations, because I had a feeling that they were going to go back or backtrack on their decision to boycott.
I remember.
But my concern is they have said that they are going to inform their constituents at this point of this position they've taken to allow the finance minister to read the budget. What I don't understand is, did they consult them prior to? And what did the constituents say? Because they put you in position as MP. They are the same people who you claim told you to come and ask for the resignation of the finance minister. Have you at any point gone back to them to find out what their views and positions are on this matter before even coming out with this statement? Because for me, it feels like you're torpedoing their decision and their position. They say they don't want him there. You have stated emphatically that we're going to boycott this budget reading. Yes, it is important that we know how we're going to manage our finances the new year. But how did you rope your constituents in? For me, it's a major problem, and it makes it very worrying, because I don't think I can trust my MP anymore at any point, because they'll tell you one thing, meet with authorities and come back and say, oh, based on A, B, C, and D, I think we should, you know, change our position.
It's like that. Everyone is just toying with us. And then you tell us, okay, you're going to allow him to read the budget today, but rest assured, he would be sacked before end of year.
When the president keeps meeting you and telling you that, I don't think, you know, he should be sacked. So
no,
you always
but
come
exactly.
back and tell us.
No, but I don't get it.
You know, since 2020, that big election we had, the composition of our parliament should have given the leading politicians of our country, especially the governing party, what the mood of the electorate or voters or the entire population was. Because those who are 18 and above represent the views of so-called those who are 18 and less. Okay? They want the two sides of the house to work together. And they also set a certain precedent. I mean the voters, by putting them or rejigging them together like that. And I thought that both sides of the house, but especially the MPs who rose from 95 to 98 and now we're told that it's the entire caucus of the majority, to set a good precedent for which others will hold them by, and other MPs or government structures that will come after this 8th parliament or whatever. Look, you are given an opportunity to state a position, stick to it, and then the next time there's any government, whether it's the next government or any other government, whether it's the same party or not, we could always refer them to that precedent that had been set. And I thought that they lost a fine opportunity. An opportunity that also strengthens the hope of ordinary citizens who go to the polls each 4 years to say that we know that when we vote Bella into power or Roland to power or Cookie to power, Cookie is going to undertake activities within the democratic
us.
process that reflects the views that we have. And so far, that line that they are whipped into line according to what the party says, that also was espoused by Andy Apiakubi. It's unfortunate.
It is. Absolutely.
It's unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is still TV3 New Day.